Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Tony Brancatella. We're going to do chapter 11. This is our last chapter. There will certainly be on the final exam. So this is all about technology and customer service. And as we speak, certainly when we talk about technology, there's certain advancements that are being made almost on a daily basis. If you look at what's happening in the world with Wi-Fi 6 and with 5G. But we're not going to talk about that. Let's look at certain specifics that really concern customer service. So in today's marketplace, certainly if we would initially have a look into gain information or research, we would look at the most popular search engines like Google and Bing. Social media plays a huge part. On social media, it's not something new to anyone, for sure. It's all about electronic communication. This is where we share ideas, consumers share ideas, I should say, information, opinions, and personal messages. Personal messages, really, the number one thing is product reviews and restaurants and places like that, and also individual product reviews, mostly on YouTube. A big phenomenon on YouTube is product opening a box opening, a brand new product, which is a well done product, a way to review products this way. If you ever buy that product, I know I've used it, and you want to unbox the product, you can see exactly how that's done to be safe, and it's really a cool way to use video. So when using social media to interact with customers, they express appreciation to customers for referral. For sure, customers do that. They share information, not a heavy sales pitch on social media. Doesn't work. Use status updates to remind customers of deadlines, events, and opportunities. They link to other resources possibly, and they also look and share what is trending in the marketplace. Today's customers, certainly when it comes to expectations, right? What do they expect? So one of the most important parts, and we know it now with what's going on in our world today, is availability, right? Services designed to meet the customer's schedule. This certainly has changed quite a bit in the last month of March 2020, and will change even further ahead. Accessibility, when the customer needs to talk, the provider can be reached. Again, this is a big issue today. Which needs to eventually come back to normal, whatever that's going to be. Accountability, customers prefer quick and accurate answers to service questions. They don't want a long jargon story. They just want a solution. So these are very high expectations by customers. Now we look at steps for introducing new technologies, right? New technologies, certainly a company has to have the staff prepared and trained, and so the supervisors can lead teams when it comes to the first customers that walk into the store. They need to develop a group of change champions. In other words, what that means is that they need to have people that react or very proactive when it comes to new technology. This is what Apple's strength is. They train their employees to be change champions. They also have to understand what their vision is, the future of the company. This is one way to be proactive. And also, they need to praise the use of new technology in the company. And they have to resist this no matter what. They need to resist the temptation to complain. And certainly in customer service, there's one thing that is always going to be, when there's a workforce, there's always going to be a complainer or two that brings down the company. This is called passive aggressiveness, and it's also called ghosting. I think I talked to you a little bit about that but certainly this happens often in companies where certain employees might not be as swift or as proactive as others, and instead of admitting a defeat that they don't understand, what they do is they complain. Teleselling is still a way of getting to customers. It's still considered to be technological, selling products or services via the phone. It has changed quite a bit, but it's still is an important factor to bridge sales gaps, and it opens up cost-effective ways to acquire and retain customers. So when you're teleselling, there's two types of calls, certainly. There's the inbound calls. This is when the actual calls come from the customer, and they might be talking about ordering, talking about issues with their bills. They might need technical support or how to use the product. So inbound calls, when customers do call in, this is considered to be teleselling. On the other side is outbound calls. This is originate from the call center to the customer. In this case, to sell products or services, to conduct a market research, and also to respond to customer inquiries, right? Or absolutely to respond to customer inquiries, or if they couldn't reach you the first time, you do call them back to find out why the customer was making an inbound call. So this is also automatic call distribution. This is called ACD. This is when callers are routed to the next available service provider. This is very big and very useful in today's world. And as you know, certainly the calls are routed not necessarily to a very local area. It might be to routed to a service center that is in another country, very, very far away. And there's also, when we talk about technology, and now it's taken a real step forward. We're using it ourselves now. And when it comes to face-to-face video communication, eye contact is really powerful no matter what. We see the person's eyes. We can tell if they're sincere, they're genuine, or maybe they're not as genuine as that. So companies are using video asynchronously, which is a video voicemail. This is Loom. So you leave messages. It's called Loom. Or synchronously as video conference, something like we use when it comes to Zoom with video. So eye contact improves relationships, absolutely, and viable business improving tools for vendors. It really improves the relationship and gets closes or bridges the gap between the customer and the company. And the email, is it dead? Is it going away? It's probably not, but it's certainly being replaced by real-time messaging, right? So customers expect you to be always there. They prefer to interact using chat than phone or email because they want to have a quicker answer. So on-site chat expected to be real time. So even if you call late at night, they expect someone to be there. In today's world, globally, that's why there's a lot of service centers are in another part of the world where they're open and it's a different time zone. So the world operates in synchronous time. Bots and AI, artificial intelligence, will help professionals, not replace them. And today, it probably would be the case. What the future holds in our new world, our new economy that will come out of this situation that we're in, bots will even play a bigger part than they're playing now. So they will certainly make a huge difference when it comes to interaction, and will not necessarily eliminate social activities or social interactions between customer and customer service, but it will really take away from it as much as it used to be. It will in many ways disappear. Self-service in many ways will disappear, and self-service will take its place from customers? Well, they're going to have to find a way to talk to somebody. And bots is the very clever way, but it's very clever, but certainly there's always technology that supports it. If the technology is not good, the bots are not good. A few more slides, a lot of information here about technology. Some of this information will certainly be on the final. So self-service will become an absolute necessity. Yes, so customers expect more self-service than before, and even more so in the next few months. So vendors big and technologically sophisticated, about companies like Amazon, these are companies that would really invest in where customers have more say in service. So big businesses embrace self-service because of the lower costs. We can see that also just on cashes when you want to pay and you want to self-serve. There's more and more self-serve cashes than there are, and so this is replacing, and it's also, as it says, cost effective. Yes, very sophisticated methods of customer interaction. So imagine a world where, as it says, where you interact most frequently with messenger bots or location-aware mobile apps. You don't have to imagine anymore because we're living in it now, and it'll be a reality going forward. Customer service will become a competitive differentiator more and more. Customer service will become an imperative from day one. In other words, if you want to start, you want to start up your own company, there is no customer service learning curve. You've got to be good from day one. You have to be as good as your competitor who's been in the industry for a decade. You'll have to be as good as them. So you'll have to be always looking at who's the best in customer service, and you will have to emulate them as much as possible. So yes, increasing startup costs and dipping margins for new entrants. This is, a lot of companies will have difficulty entering in certain markets, and this is going again. And I want to repeat because I want you guys to understand that a new world is about to come upon us, and a lot of things will change, and a lot of companies will have gone bankrupt by the time we're allowed to actually shop in stores. So yes, there will be huge costs to meet the demands. So exciting new challenge to stay ahead. Yes, very, very exciting, but very, very expensive. Customer service will be data driven, right? It measures the company's success all the time. It has to be quantitative. It has to be proof positive that it works, right? All the time. And the only way you can do that is to have as much information as you can. So it needs to also improve the customer's experience. So that means that no matter which service technology that is chosen, it should include a way quantitatively measures its success. There's no way to prove it if the added software is being effective. So now companies, what they do is they adopt service technology. Customer service teams become more dependent on analyzing the success of these programs. So with that shift, certainly there should be a noticeable influx of valuable data circulating through customer service departments, improving the actual service itself. So data driven, more information is out there, and the more they will improve the service itself. And last but not least, customer service reps will solve fewer problems. Again, this is not a will solve. They are solving less and less problems because AI and certainly analytics have taken the place of an actual person. So customer support will have time to do different things, right? So they will see a decrease in case count, but customer service will be focusing on solving more difficult product or service problems that now AI and chatbots certainly are not capable of doing today. In a couple of years, and maybe I say a couple of years, but maybe next year, they might be able to solve these problems, and customer service support will be there, just to make sure that the switch is turned on. So eventually they'll probably, the chat or AI and artificial intelligence, especially with 5G coming up and Wi-Fi 6 coming up, will certainly make it that. So that's a changing world where, as much as we're staying home today, and we're not crazy about staying home and being isolated, this is where we're headed. We're headed to a world without any shopping centers or storefronts, and more where everything is delivered, and we will be isolated in our cocoons or in our homes. So products will improve, yes, and as we go forward, products will get better. You can just take a look at cars, how much cars have improved in the last 10 to 15 years. If you ever had a car 15 years ago, I know I have, or 20 years ago, I can tell you they were always breaking down, or there was always big issues. While today, when the warranty of cars usually is not even needed the first couple of months or more, because the cars are so well done and so well manufactured, and in the future will be even better. Especially with electric cars, where there's less moving parts, the car could last a lot longer. All right, so that's it for chapter 11. This will be posted, and yes, this will be a part of what's going to be on your final exam. Thank you.